So, Bungy's men would have gone out and about into the rest of the road. The world at large would have known no doubt that the clan was out to wipe them out, and to learn and gather and to take back to the others all that they would have learnt in order to teach others of their very own, and then trickle it on down to become the greatest and strongest of kingdoms yet. And yes, all of this would have been happening right there on the other guy's own doorstep. They would have gone out with a purpose in the palm, and mining the minds of those other kinds in order to learn and master all of the kinds and the contemporary norms there to find, and of the knowledge in the arts, science, and the crafts, as well as their every design. And they were to bring back their religious belief, as was the prescribed feasts and practices teach, the customs of the people whose seats are in the east and in the west of there, and wherever they were to go best, not anywhere nearby them though. That was how they would have come to know, and that which they now know has served them so, like so very well, even unto this very day. Can't you tell? Something was going on each continent at the time, or not going on, depending on which side of the storm you would have hung the rod upon. Bungy would have looked out over the fog, and was to see the glad bag. That was how he would have tugged and bagged the key, which was limited only up to what he couldn't literally see, at least not very clearly. So he would have hopped up upon his wobbly legs above the knee and ventured far and very widely. Well, comparatively here is the way we use the word widely, like in the way how it applies to his knees, one as opposed to the other, as he was to begin to get very tiredly. So he would have lied and gone back inside to lie again, as in down to sleep, my friend. But then he would have woke up and sat down to view the voids in the World Cup, you know, the game which was going on at the domes over there in town. And then he was to turn up the teacup, which was a 4 times turned down. And then he would have tried to foolproof the overproof rumblings in the stadium and, hey, you, yes, you there, go sit down over there and do some sit-ups too, in order to fill up the 6-pack abdominal abandonment which you lack. Go, get it done quickly and come back, okay? Anyway, enough of that. Back to Bungy, who would have sat down again to split up and to divide the task which he had eyed in the past. He hid it in his own, yes, but now the time has come for him to share it all up among the halves of his 8 siblings, divided into 2 parts among them, and give it all to them to go off along with the other have-nots to spy out the pied pastures green and all of the in-between. So his brothers would have gathered and gotten themselves called up to the bed ladder or something or another, like to just sit and chat with him. And so came the big fall of the other all, you know, like all of them as in those other men, including them, the Larrys then. Sent them out in ocean liners to see what they would find and things finer. He was so ugly, yes, that brother Bungy, so ugly was he that not even his mother lovely could have loved him cuddly. Nobody could have loved him. She did live a little before she died. She had lived long enough to have heard him cry and grew into his inside and house as he was going about groping the house and into his wayward ways and his whereabouts, where he had gone out to gaze by the wayside days, just a little bit by them days. But it would have so happened that when upon his doing the coming in thing, he would have scared the sheet off of him and worried her to death, the eventual bet. But he grew yet, and grew to become powerfully and mightily set, as in in all of the wealth which he would have gathered and get, and grew strong, and yet stronger as he went along. Yeah, I know. Some folks are sure going to argue with you for this, for saying went along his, instead of along her, probably. They are going to charge you too, not me though. I am a no-show. But let's go on with the Bungy's song, the solo. The world would have had a love-hate relationship with her. With him. Well, with that too, with both of them. No, you've got to stop this, children, and watch this song. The kings would have heard of him, and was stiffly scared of the sin, the very same wind which had befallen him upon the coming in. At least some of them were that scared of a friend, but not nearly as scared as they were of being seen anywhere out in the open square with him. They were certainly scared of befriending him though. The Bungy thing, as they took to be calling him. Others would have sent for him to come to them, to make leagues with and to join up with us, said the said Kingsley then in a cuss. That would have been at the time when he had sent messengers in unto him saying, the kingdom is much more bigger than the little cubicle there on the hillside over there, and over which you reign in fear, and sober, and grow your hair long, and steer your many and varied affairs in the wrong. Sure, he would have slaughtered the answer which he said and sent back to Kingsley's men, the lancers, and forward unto the Kingsley monster, which meant in real people language and terms, sure, I most certainly will. I shall be coming on still. And went he in through the king's wide open door, and had was to be running ever after, but not wildly as usual, and certainly not faster, not like before, no, just running wildly wise, staying on the other sides of them and of their wise wisdom, according to the way how he at the time had happened to see done, and staying away from them and where they are at any time given, spending the necessary time, peeping in at them and watching them feeding and eating swine. Didn't trust them any mind, didn't trust anybody nor their grind. He had considered himself really lucky to have gone into the king's parlor dirty, as in into that dirty palace place over there in Sutton County. He was to think of it as lucky, it would seem, for him to have gone in and to have managed to come out again, and was still to be found there wrapped up in the thin, like in the thin of his own Bungy skin. Been counting his lucky stars ever since, and even after that, he has been counting. That was to become one of his favorite pastime thing, and becoming even faster, as we were to be passing off the many times when he would have just tossed them out fast and faster in front of him in line, and then starts off a counting mine. 1, 42. More like a toy game for a boy named Bungy, who was just a tad lad like you and one like me too. Give me be, and not that tale you see, but they are never going to make him stand up in front of them ever again to peep, to peep back over the shoulder at him, and to see him peeping back at them there, trying to see whatever there may or may not be for them to see. He is Bungy like that, and slippery, and cunning, and not to be too pretty sure if he definitely knows a thing or two, or even 4, or much, much more than me and you put together the 2 to even the score. His other name was Steve, right there before his reason, and in front of that is his Bungy, to plunge him squarely into Bungy Stephen, that poor boy. That right there, my friends, was the real reason.